Hi, today we are going slightly personal. Looking at the aspiring product managers community for weeks now, I can see that one of the biggest questions or doubts around people who are breaking into product management is where to start. How did it happen? How do you land this role? This is covered by the course, so I won't tell you here exactly, but instead I want to tell you my story on how it happened for me and how it was a bit of accident and how it became a strategy. I began my professional career many years ago. I don't want to count. I don't want to realize how old I am. But it all began in Barcelona when I was there on an Erasmus program. That's a student exchange program between countries in the European Union. And I found myself having a lot of time, so I started teaching English. And eventually I found a full-time job as an IT intern technician. It had nothing to do with product management, believe me. All I did was installing Windows, Linux, and fixing the printers. Maybe bring a mouse from time to time, and killing some cockroaches when they terrorize the office. And a year later, after this internship, I was hoping to come back to Barcelona for another 3 months of internship in the same company, which was, let's just say, promised to me. But, well, they couldn't wait too long, so I was cancelled. However, I was still pretty determined to have a summer in Barcelona, so I started looking remotely. And let me say, it was more than 10 years ago for a position, and I did manage to land one with a small company called Idibu. Back then, and even now, Idibu is a cloud solution that allows the IT recruiters to send a single job ad to multiple job boards at the same time. So they don't have to repeat the same work over and over, and collects the CVs from the applicants from all those job boards in a single place. Back then, I was just an IT technician that was tasked with integrating more and more job boards to the system using this pseudocode that was implemented for this particular system. I was quite effective, and thus after my summer internship / full-time position, I was offered to continue on working with the company on an ongoing part-time basis, remotely from home, doing exactly the same. I still had a year of my master's degree, so it was cool. I like little work, cool income, and there was nothing wrong with it. So I then became one of the, well, first people to work remote. Nah, not first. It's been going on for years, but those are times when that wasn't too popular. And if you worked from home, no one would ever see this as an actual job, just something you do in front of your computer, and magically money appears on your account for that. Anyway, this carried on for some time, and what I did apart from that was client support, as I was the expert on the system, on the integrations, which back then were the core of the system, and that kicked off my career really towards product management. Because as time went on, I completed my studies, went for a post-graduation course. I also was growing my skills as a person who understands the users and tries to provide the right solution. That came in the way of introducing more and more bug fix requests, change requests, feature requests. I was the one who had a lot of interactions with the clients and understood their needs. So at some point, rather than just requesting the changes, I started organizing them and overseeing the development process. And that landed me another role in this company of a project manager. I wasn't really responsible for making sure that Idibu is being developed in the best possible way. The changes and the decisions came from the two people's management. Hi Steve, hi Martin. And as time went by, the company owner decided it's time for him to do something different. He was pretty happy with Idibu, he saw the success, and he wanted to try some other thing, to create some other companies. So I was tasked then to become the product manager, to decide what gets developed with the limited development resources we had, and also got a mission of making sure that our system is compatible with many other systems and is easy to integrate via API. Back then it had a lot of issues and it was a long project. Let's just say it was successful. It's not my portfolio presentation in this video, it's just how my career went. So there you have it. I became the product manager. No, not really, guys and gals. The truth was that back then I was the world leading expert in the Idibu product. That was product management, yeah, but it had nothing of the right skill set, right mindset, and right best practices that I teach in the course. It was my perhaps second or third year of product managing Idibu when I realized that I am only the world's leading expert in product management for Idibu. And I thought, I'm not really growing. I don't have any interesting perspectives to move to, and I like what I was doing as a PM. So it was time for a change. And also time for great disappointments. I started going to recruitment processes just to find out I don't have the right skills and I don't follow the industry standards. There was no real data drivenness in Idibu. We were only client request driven, and that was okay for that startup. Every client was do or die back then, and losing a big client that paid a lot of money could mean an end of the company. So you have to accommodate for that. We didn't do any A/B testing because there was no time and the requirements were quite clear as we were talking to the client directly. There was no agile scrum involved, the team was small, lots of things. But on each interview I went to, I heard that I have the right guts, the right spirit, but I don't have the right experience, despite already being a product manager. I recall that then, after being mentored on those job interviews by the people who talked to me, I don't remember the names, but I remember that the company is called Spartas. It's now the part of Atlassian. They do add-ons to Jira, and the owners of this company invited me for a job interview, took a lot of time to talk to me, and told me exactly what I was missing. They really put me on the track where I am now, so thank you very much if you're listening to this. Anywho, knowing that I don't know anything, I put the job search on hold for a year. This way I could complete my PhD and do a lot of reading, find out what I don't know and see if I can teach it, if I can do it in Idibu, and improve on what I was saying in those job interviews to try to give what I actually did a spin to be close to what was expected of me in those job interviews. And let me tell you, that didn't really lead anywhere. I mean, I was being better and better with every job interview, but the sad fact is that I still didn't have the right skills I needed. Until the fact that I worked for recruiters, for the software they use, for job boards, for almost a decade then, brought me to a company called Stepstone. Stepstone is the biggest job board in Europe, primarily focused on the German market, but they also own all the biggest job boards in UK. And the fact that I was a subject matter expert, that I knew stories from all over the world, from many different job boards. I knew what works for them and didn't work, and I had great industry knowledge and contacts. I was given a chance, and it was clearly stated. But you are being hired as a senior business analyst, but really it's a senior product owner position to see if you can fit, to see if you really do have what it takes to be a product owner, product manager, and if you can do it because your subject matter knowledge is impressive. And that was my chance. That was the turning point of my life, really, where someone gave me a shot and I did absolute best to follow it. After 3 months of being a junior product owner effectively, I was given my own team, I was promoted to a product owner, and I guess I was the happiest person in the world because I finally got what I wanted, but the journey wasn't done yet. No. That was just a bus stop of the longer journey. I finally got to experience true A/B testing, experience true data-drivenness, and frankly, those 2 years allowed me to gather most of my knowledge that I have converted into a course and that you benefit from. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that I learned previously and afterwards, but it's that Stepstone experience that allowed me to determine the right templates for different documents, to find out how communication with stakeholders and clients is important and how to write it properly, how to change a team that was, sorry guys, hi Chimera, initially dysfunctional to the best performing team in the department, if not the whole office. For this story, let's skip why I decided to leave. The team aspect, the product, it was all cool, all fun, and I learned a lot, but given the practical experience and all that I learned and read before Stepstone, again pushed me to the place where I didn't really feel like I'm still developing, that I'm doing stuff that's meaningful enough, and it's time to move on. And that's how I landed my product management role in OLX, and specifically in a small OLX-owned startup that's focused around purchasing and selling cars using a digital product. That was that mature role that had its downsides from day one that I was aware of, that was a real challenge to reasons I don't really want to share on this video because it's irrelevant, but it was that crowning jewel where all the knowledge, all the education, all the best practices came together and helped me manage within a very difficult situation to the best of my abilities. I stayed there for 18 months, and at the end of that period, I had the great experience of being approached by Microsoft, and well, we started talking. Back then I was already actively seeking a new position, preferably abroad from Poland, and well, Milena from Microsoft couldn't come at a better moment. And everything I said, everything I showed, every ounce of being honest, like I'm being honest with you right now, led to a very, very fun, very easy recruitment process. And there I am. Here I am as a senior product manager at Microsoft, developing Skype and enjoying that really, really much. That's where I wanted to be when I started my long journey in Edibu. That's what I had in mind when I said I don't want to be the world's leading expert in Edibu. I want something more. And now it's really cool to be where I am. And I'm really happy, and it's even more energizing to have created the course for you guys, to create those videos each and every week, to share my experience, to share my knowledge, to talk to many of you and try to help out. And it all made for a, I think, very good success story that I'm happy to share with you just today. So I think I'll cut it here. Thank you for listening to me. It took a while, and I hope it brought you some inspiration, that you now know that even people who now teach product management and do their best to mentor younger generations also struggled, also had difficult steps along the way. And don't worry, hard work, lots of learnings, lots of patience eventually pays off. Good luck on your journey, and cheers!